Hello there everyone, it's Alex here from VG247.com, here with a bit of video of Watch Dogs 2, which I went and played yesterday as I record this, but by the time you guys see it, it will be a couple of days ago. Let's get disclosure out of the way right at the top. This was a Ubisoft event that took place in Paris, and Ubisoft did book us the travel and the accommodation for one night so we could actually go and do this event. With that said, we got hands-on with the game for quite a number of hours. We took a lot of footage, but I'm just going to show you a chunk. We got to do a bunch of different stuff, be that just roaming around the free roam of the world, although it was a limited chunk of the world, or we had one major story mission to do, some of the operation missions that are sort of like randomly generated, and they're designed for co-op, but you can do them standard because online wasn't available. This build was locked to offline, but you can still do that stuff on your own, and just generally really getting a feel for what the game is like. So here's the thing, I played Watch Dogs 2 at Gamescom. There they were showing off connected stuff, they were showing off some online stuff, and basically there were 4 consoles in a room, and myself and 3 other journalists split into teams of 2, and we did some 2-on-2 stuff. The thing about all that is that I really enjoyed what I played. It was really good fun, but it was very, very janky performance-wise. Really pleased to report that that is so not the case for Watch Dogs 2 now. It seems to have been cleared up significantly. It had the open world issues that all open world games have, where just parts of it, you can see the seams where the massive world has been stitched together. But honestly, in general, looked really, really good, performed well. This was on PlayStation 4, and yeah, it was looking pretty good. What's interesting is that old theory of these Ubisoft IPs and when they get really good. And I'm one of those people who, I didn't think Watch Dogs, the original, was bad, but it certainly wasn't up to the quality of the hype that built around that game, and certainly the nature of its mad E3 reveal, and it being one of those first titles on the current generation of consoles to really make everybody go, wow. That didn't help, right? But also, you look at it and you see the parallel between Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed, where that first Assassin's Creed game was good and had some real potential. But it really wasn't until Assassin's Creed 2 that everything clicked and you were like, okay, this is why this idea works. And I feel the same way about Watch Dogs 2. I feel like, having spent, a couple of hours with it now, I feel far more interested in this world than I otherwise would have, and that's for a number of reasons. I think Marcus, the new protagonist, is far more interesting than the chap from Watch Dogs. Interesting for multiple reasons. He just has more of a personality. In one of the scenes, you see him and his hacker cronies sort of they're trying to make a breakthrough in hacking one of the man's biggest systems, and when they do, they're all in their little lair, which is in the bottom of it's hidden behind / underground like a nerdy Games Workshop style store that sells action figures and board games, and there's some great textures on the wall where the shelves are filled with fake versions of real board games and stuff like that. And that's the type of place these guys hang out. And on one hand, you look at them and you're like, oh, you hipster douches. But on the other hand, they're interesting and fun characters to be around far more than anything in the first game, I feel. So, yeah, he's more interesting, to be sure, and the people around him seem more interesting. But we did only have the one story mission to check out, some of which you'll see as part of the video that you see in this video. And that's a mission called Home Sweet Home, and it's a mission that basically comes in 4 different parts. So it's like you go to a waypoint on the map, kick off the mission, and then you do that bit and you're set free into the open world once more, and the next step of the mission is another. So it's like it's one mission, but it's a mission strand, and in your UI, which of course being Watch Dogs is your mobile phone, you can see like oh, this is Home Sweet Home and you've done 25% of it. So it seems like a lot of the missions, if not all of them, are going to be broken up in that fashion, and each part is unique in some way. I mean, in Home Sweet Home, there was a theme, which was sneaking into places you're not supposed to be and either stealing things or hacking things or both. The first part of this mission had me go to some docks, and I had to take out a particular guard in order to hack the digital key, the password, to unlock the gates in order to steal the van that I needed. The second part then required me to break into a house, and instead of police and on-site security, it was just private security that would respond, and sort of these weird little Dalek-like robots that patrol around, and they don't seem to attack you, I don't think, but they do alert and set off alarms, and you can hack them to deactivate them and stuff like that. All these missions were fun. The third part of the mission, which I don't have that much video footage of, actually has like puzzle elements where you're making circuits match up to sort of reminded me of BioShock, except instead of happening in a separate screen, this is happening out in the world where you're trying to turn the line blue, and the only way to turn the line blue is to link up the pipes to make the blue flow through the pipes. The blue being, electric or hacking energy or whatever. It's an interesting and cool idea that to have something like that breaks it all up. And that brings me on to the main method in which you do that particular puzzle, which is with the drone, and there's also the jumper, which is like an RC robot-controlled car. Both those really cool, really fun to use. It seems like every single bit of the game that you approach, you can approach from multiple directions, whether that's you just going in all guns blazing, but you are very fragile. It is very easy to die. At least, at this point, there are obviously upgrades you can do, and I'm sure you can make yourself more durable, but still. So there's all that, and that's really fun and interesting. But then you can also sort of sneak in. I don't know, if this is 100% true, but there was the suggestion that, a developer on the team might have actually managed to play Watch Dogs 2 in its entirety, start to finish, without actually killing anyone. Which, if that's the case, that's quite interesting. Obviously, I think it would be very difficult to do, because it's an open world game, and people are everywhere, and if you accidentally accelerate a little bit too quickly, you're going to kill somebody. But it's still interesting that is potentially possible. So yeah, you can stealth as well, and then of course you've got the drone and the jumper. And they allow you to do things. They can still be spotted by people, and it's actually kind of funny. Like the drone, if people spot that, they'll throw rocks and things at it to try and make it crash. And the jumper, it actually has like a taunt button, so you can like roll up to somebody and taunt them, and they will, depending on their personality, they might get irate and try to kick it, or again try to throw things at it, and that's fun. So yeah, it's in things like this, and also in just the variety of side tasks that are on the map, the size of the map and the density of the map, where you sort of click in the right stick to do the ping, which turns on the Batman style vision, and you see there's a lot of stuff to do on that map, and I think that was a big problem a lot of people had with the original Watch Dogs. We'll see how much variety there is when we play the final thing, but based on what I saw in this hands-on, it seems like there's quite a lot of stuff to do, so I don't think the there's nothing to do problem is going to happen so much anymore. In terms of criticisms, like I said, there is a bit of open world jank. The police seem a bit thick, but also, like I say, you are a bit fragile, so perhaps them being a bit more stupid is the price you pay for there being, for Marcus being quite easily taken down. But yeah, they did seem a bit stupid. They were not difficult to escape at all. But yeah, I really liked it. Obviously it was only a couple of hours, and this is precisely the sort of game that should never, ever, 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 ever be judged on a couple of hours, especially on a build that has been specifically edited, so there was sort of a bright orange line around parts of the map, and those were the parts that we couldn't leave, so we were limited to one part of the San Francisco landmass. It was still massive, mind, and we could see the full map, which I'm not allowed to show you on video, but based on looking at the map screen, it's pretty big. And yeah, so it's interesting and cool looking is what I will say. You know, we don't really have a big, you know, we haven't. I feel like I haven't sat down to a really big open world game of this type of open world anyway, like crime and driving and all that stuff for quite a while now, and I'm pretty ready actually for a new one. And so Watch Dogs seems to be coming at around about the right time. And the stuff with the drone and the jumper, that really stands out. But also in general, the tone of it, you know, they've got some really nice ambient reactive music stuff that happens specifically when you are, when you're, you know, in a mission. Like if you're, at one point I'm sneaking around and the music's doing some really cool stuff. Like all that. In fact, like pretty much all of it. But of course, you know, as always with previews, you know, take it with a grain of salt. We never know what the full game's going to be like. We never know how long it's going to be or how well it's going to hold up over a longer period of time. But I got pretty high hopes for this after this preview event. Whereas when I went into it, I was interested, but I didn't really have any specific, you know, thinking or any specific excitement. Well, I was excited, but you know what I mean. I wasn't. I guess the word is hyped, right? I wasn't chomping at the bit to play Watch Dogs 2 the same way I was chomping at the bit to play, I don't know, Deus Ex a month ago. But now I am. So I guess Ubisoft can consider the hands-on a success, as far as I'm concerned, at least. So yeah, that is Watch Dogs 2. You can obviously see a bunch of it. You know, there's a preview on the site on VG247.com where instead of me just rambling without a script, it'll be far more eloquent and we'll go into detail in a more specific way. So if you want that, go ahead, head to VG247.com and go and read that. But also, you've got this video in front of you, and in many ways, that speaks, gameplay footage speaks far louder than anything I can. So have a little watch. I'll let this run for a little bit longer beyond my yapping. And yeah, Watch Dogs 2 is out pretty soon now. So we'll of course have more on it when it comes out. We'll play the final build and see how we feel about all that. But yeah, it's so far so good, I will cautiously say. So hopefully this can be Watch Dogs' version of Assassin's Creed 2. This can be the one that makes the formula work and really lays the groundwork for the series to get really, really interesting. And not that Assassin's Creed 2 wasn't interesting, of course it was. It's just, remember that Assassin's Creed 2 was followed by Brotherhood, the best in the series. But anyway, if this can be anywhere near as good as Assassin's Creed 2 when compared to its predecessor, then that will be a victory, and I think they might be on track for it. So yeah, that's Watch Dogs 2. I'm Alex from VG247. Until next time, everyone, I'll see ya.
Damn, man, that's awesome. No, mames. Que chilo. That's sweet. Oh, man. Vámonos. Pinche huevos.
Units, air support requested at once. Suspect is on the run.
Officers have been dispatched. Please remain.
Put out on all calls, squad. We have an eyewitness. Suspect is described as...
Now!
Guys, I'm drawing close to the data funnel. I'm gonna find somewhere to jack in.
CH2 to squad.
Be advised.
Yes, we're time to stand by. Over. Swing it back around.
Squad, suspect back in view. We're on him. Over. Squad, we have reports of a suspected terrorist near your location. Sending visual now.
I'd step in. It's not really the time. Wait, listen.
What are you doing? Get out of here. Stay right there. So...
Okay, wait.
Ah! Turn it off! God! Make it stop! One ear, then the other. Hold it. You need to come with us.
In front of everyone? For God's sake! Wait, huh?
What? You have to be an attorney.
This is exactly the...
Who's that?
You hear that?